banned on the side of Entity, who have first pick, Lacoste.
Yeah, I just want to ask Saberlight, how do you prep coming into the series knowing that a lot of your heroes is going to be banned out in the first phase? Because we've been in this tanky meta for quite some time now.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I don't do any prep. I just leave that to my coach, Bulba, so I just focus on clicking buttons, but it's, yeah, the meta got a little bit stale where like the mid laners and the off laners are basically the same, and most of them are just strength heroes that buy blade mail into heart, especially on mid laners. I hate it when, people do it on tight. I don't want to point any fingers, but, enough is enough. So I think these bans are kind of what we expected, the Notice Bristle and the Curly Teach Spectre, and the OP mid laners from the VP side. So I'm interested to see what entity is going to first pick. I would imagine something like some support pick to open the draft.
Your favorite heroes in the pool right now. Do you remember?
Which one?
You just did the interview. Remember what you said?
Oh, right. It is actually.
Yeah.
You're right. They left
Spirit Breaker in the game right now. This could be a run back potentially.
Yeah.
I feel like both Noticed and Gabi play the hero, so I'm surprised they didn't pick it. I think maybe they, I mean, Tusk is okay against Breaker because theoretically you can like position yourself in the way of the charge and then you just snowball to cancel it, so you can cancel charge. But overall, I think this Breaker hero has like a lot of potential.
Yeah, he just feels like strong at every stage of the game, and he's so annoying to play against because he's cutting every wave. He's so hard to catch, and he just postpones games for too long. So I would be surprised if it goes ignored. But I mean, if the Tusk is in the pool and the Dawn is in the pool, the Dawn's going to come out at some point. Maybe it gets taken away, maybe it gets banned in the next phase, but it is something that VP have to think about now.
And there he is. So what we discussed last game when the Spirit Breaker comes out, you need to look towards Yule Scepter builders on the side of Entity.
They had the same thing, Sphere.
Invoker.
Or Invoker.
They literally had everything you wanted for Spirit Breaker.
Yeah.
It didn't matter.
It did not matter.
Literally did not matter. So
But
how do you counter this hero? I don't really know.
I mean, they also had offlane Invokers, so there's ups and downs.
True.
Maybe a mid lane Invoker, That would be, if it's still left in the pool after this ban phase.
I mean, I think Spirit Breaker is counterable. Like, anything that can build a Yule Scepter, if Shadow Demon is still in the pool, if Invoker is still in the pool, there are ways to play around the hero. It's not the end-all, be-all. Last game was a little bit of a... It's hard to gauge based off of that because it was such a good PL game too, and PL had a great start. So we didn't get to see Talon's ability to maneuver around the Spirit Breaker at any point.
I mean, I will say that, yeah, Yule's is great for the hero, but this hero just he's a money bank. He just gets money out of nowhere. He buys BKB, he buys Refresher, and at that point, your Yule's doesn't really matter very much, right?
It's true. I also like what Effie said about the Dawnbreaker. I think the hero is okay against Spirit Breaker. Oh, they even banned it. Yeah. It's good against Spirit Breaker because you can match the global thing. And I also know Entity like this Tusk Dawnbreaker combo because from the backstage info I got, they got absolutely destroyed in Dream League with this lane, and Watson was crying that they need to learn how to play it.
Well, I mean, Invoker for Stormstormer still in the pool. The Pugna does come out from VP, which is a good hero versus Invoker generally. Also a good hero paired up with Spirit Breaker because you have all the extra sustain coming out of Life Drain that any hero that goes in benefits from. So I wonder if they're still looking at it, but I'd be surprised if they aren't. There's also the Shadow Demon that Entity should be considering at this point.
With this Pugna in pool, there is no Ancient Apparition, so he doesn't have to care about this healing cancellation. So he can keep the distance, and you have like one of the better heroes in the front line with the Spirit Breaker. I just want to touch upon more about the second ban that Entity did. This Grimstroke. I feel like this is the hero, at least like top 3, top 4 of the tournament, because the hero provides you with so many things. The silence against the Tusk, the leash mechanic that I mentioned in the previous series where you can't really do much, but they're going to bang out Chen. They are undefeated with the Chen. So far, we've seen Chen punishing some of the weaker off lanes where they can't defend themselves. If they can't kill the creep, it's going to provide you with the strong laning support and Morphling. You don't have enough damage most of the time to kill this hero early on.
Yeah, and we saw Morphling against Spirit Breaker attempted in the previous game because you can turn into Spirit Breaker and still pretty okay. It might not be exactly the same. Previous game didn't work out. We mentioned the Phantom Lancer problems that time around. I'm sure that Entity is going to be aware of that. But it is a answer.
I think Entity just need to be wary of like a illusion angle from Virtus Pro, because neither Chen nor Morphling are, not even Tusk, are particularly good at dealing with illusions. But I do like their second phase bans of the AA and Grim, because both of the heroes are pretty solid against Morph. So they wanted this Morph to like counter Spirit Breaker, and now VP doesn't have really supports to deal with the Morph, so they need to counter him with a core. So they could potentially pick PL here, but Entity will have the 18 pick to counter it.
Yeah, I mean, for carries right now, I think Naga could be a good choice potentially for them. That is good. Also can't deal with PL. Might be a little too early for that hero, but it is also very good. We saw in the last game. But they need to make a decision. Do they want to go that illusion route now, or are they going to wait a little bit for it?
And I do like Naga. I also like a potential TB versus the Morphling, because you can pick, I mean, the Pugna is going to do a good job at defending it, but you can pick a secondary support like Phoenix that gives your draft a lot of protection. Ooh, this Doom. Okay, Doom is a great counter to Morphling.
Oh yeah, that's
Just
sexy.
Doom him.
That's very sexy. I actually forgot about this matchup. It's yeah, that one's rough, because there's actually nothing you can do on Morph against Doom. Once you get doomed, there's no healing. You get percentage damage. This matchup is extremely rough, and it's also good against Chen in lane. You just eat this creep, you buy Vanguard. Yeah, big problemo for Entity, in my opinion.
Yeah, they haven't played any Doom. Like these Eastern European teams, they love to play Doom on multiple positions, so keeping this as a flex, potentially for offlane if necessary. But yeah, stopping the healing and also mana burn. These two things Morphling doesn't really like to play into.
Yeah, and Pangolier, really horrible, abysmal, atrocious win rate this tournament, but it still does a really great job at disrupting enemy tempo drafts, right? Because it comes online very early. You can just get side lane rotations of Swashbuckle. You don't need to be dependent on your Rolling Thunder. But when you're playing against a Chen lineup and it's going to start picking up pace and pushing down these towers, Pango is probably the best mid hero that can do that from a really early standpoint. With the Rolling Thunder, you can actually set up for these kills. So it makes a lot of sense here.
All right, Saberlight, you are playing Doom this game, right?
Yeah.
You're against Morph Chen, and you have a Spear Breaker Doom game lane. How are you going to lane this?
I mean, it's okay. You're against two range heroes, so just Doom press the W, pushes the wave in, and then you pull the wave. And then, you know, the two range heroes, neither of them want to tank the creep wave, so they're just crying. They're, you know, super confused as what's happening. And then suddenly, minute 4, you have Vanguard, and no one cares, and you're chilling.
So you think they can win the lane or go even?
I mean, it's not an easy lane by any means, but I think they can draw the lane.
All right.
Cool. Yeah, here's the Stormstormer Invoker. We mentioned before Tornado, very good against Spirit Breaker. It's his signature hero, but now you also have ways to buff up your Morphling, right? You've got the tag team bonus damage and the Alacrity that's going to be placed on this Morphling. So you're looking at very, very early Roshan's, very early objective taking coming out from Entity.
And they also don't have any cooldowns on side of Entity, so they can keep fighting all the time. There's going to be a downtime where Doom is used, Pangolier no Rolling Thunder, so could be potentially punished. You know, the Spirit Breaker, Pugna, they also don't rely on any cooldown, but Morphling with 2-3 items and the Roche taking potential that Effie mentioned with the tag team, there's a lot of buffs how you can just amplify the damage of Morphling in this game.
Entity has to be very careful with these bans, I think, because PL does look like a problem, kind of like the last series we just watched. Very similar situation where supports don't deal with them, Invoker's not really the best against them, and Morph is not good either. They're still looking for a carry on Virtus Pro here. They banned Troll, which seemed a little bit weird, I think, right now. And when there is a Naga, there is a PL in the pool, so they have to prepare something to at least make it uncomfortable to pick an Illusion hero on their last pick here.
Maybe the Troll ban indicates that they're comfortable in the timing that this Chen plus Invoker lineup will give them, and if an Illusion hero comes out, they maybe feel like they can just end the game before.
Yeah. I mean, the other
that point.
question is, does Kirtich play these heroes? Do you know, Saberlight?
I don't, but I would assume he can play it.
He hasn't played them yet, so maybe they know more than us.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they did more prep than I did for this panel, so. But I'm a bit worried for Entity, because I don't see like a particularly great offlaner for them that lanes with Tusk. Usually what you want with Tusk is, you know, some Dawnbreaker that's gonna like have a high kill threat and you just kill the carry, or you pick a range hero such as a Visage, something like that. But the problem with those heroes is that they are not particularly great against Tango. Like, I don't know if they can Visage. So, and on top of that, VP will have a counter pick. So they need to blind pick a hero that's okay with us, and that also can't be like super counter pick.
Dazzle is still in the pool, which is a bit of a surprise if you are looking into range hero, but
True.
seems
I
like
mean, I think
not.
they really had to like deal with the illusion factor. Like if they pick a Visage or something there and PL comes out,
Yeah.
like that's just GG.
That's true. I mean, Shaker does deal with illusions, and I think it fits their draft pretty good. I'm just a little bit worried about the lane. I think Shaker is not a great lane, but it can work.
Templar Assassin as the overall last pick.
Will that go mid or will it be carry?
Carry Templar Assassin. Kirtish plays it.
So that matchup is really, it's going to be great in lane, right? The Shaker doesn't want to play against us, but Morph is pretty happy in this matchup later on in the game because he does have such high armor. So they're really going to play the Temple here. I guess they realize that the Doom will take care of the Morph, right? Just get farmed on the TA, then you can just snowball the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's good against Tusk, it's good against Chen, Invoker, and Shaker. The only issue for the TA is the Morphling, but I mean, if TA wins its lane and snowballs a little bit, then you have that shard to think about. That TA shard is really good at killing Morphling early on. They might be able to make some plays off of that. So it's not the worst pick. I see why they went for it.
I also like that they put Spirit Breaker 5 with the TA, and then Pugna 4 with Doom. So they have ranged melee in both of the lanes. So their lanes are way stronger than Entity's lanes, in my opinion. So it will depend. If they can build big enough lead in the early game, I think they got this game.
Yeah, and putting the Doom on position 3 in this game means that they want to get that early level 6 on it. They want to take that Morphling threat out of the game as soon as possible. So they want to give him farm priority, XP priority, and potentially get a rotation coming through that Twin Gate and running down that Morphling the second Doom gets level 6.
Yeah, we did mention that Entity, that they have really good draft that can keep fighting all the time. With Templar Assassin as the last pick, this is going to give them some tempo because the 4 heroes that they picked, very limited in terms of tower damage, except Pugna, but also you need to be able to take Roche.
Well, let's see who takes Roche and let's see who takes game 1. Before we head to the game, though, we're first going to check in with Coach Metrim with Tsunami.
Thank you very much. I am joined by Metrum for the second time today. What you been up to for the last 5 hours?
Just watching Bad Boom games against Talon and just chilling, waiting. Yeah, of course, usually you want your next game to start as fast as possible, but it's still fine. It's still fine.
You said you were watching that Bad Boom game, but did you see their Spirit Breaker? It looked pretty good, and yet you picked Tusk first over the Spirit Breaker. What's up with that?
But look, now they had to move their Spirit Breaker to not core roll, so we'll see if the Spirit Breaker gonna have the same impact that Pure had.
Okay, the equation might have changed, and maybe the environment around here changed. I know it's Sunday night here in North America, but guys, it's the last series of the Road to the International. You ready? Let's get it started.
And it's already started.
First blood.
Just that first blood. Fishman's managed to be able to take down FNG there. But they actually get the trade kill and return. Katomi dies in response to Sayush is able to find him. So 1-1 already on the board here as we get ourselves into this game 1. What should be an exciting best of 3 really. Fog down here in the lower bracket. Entity versus Pro. And some exciting things to talk about in terms of picks. The way things have ended up from Versus Pro, this last pick TA. What did it sort of say to you in terms of what they're going to be going for with timings?
They're looking for lane dominance, right? They're looking for really early aggression versus a bit of a greedy draft in a way that can be coming out from Entity. And the lane matchup in particular, right? He sees the Shaker, so he's looking for that best hero that can be able to do with it. Yes, he will have to have some concerns versus the Morphling as game progresses, because the Morph, that matchup with high armor, being able to turn into TA, get the refraction and stuff like that, could be problematic, but can definitely see why that he would like to have this pick. They want to have this early tempo base with their draft, so looking forward to see what we're going to get.
In terms of tempo, we're seeing here again on the replay, of course, Versus Pro. They went straight in for some action, but does, of course, bite them as Fishman on Entity. The one to get the first blood here in that first bit of a fight.
And let's see how these lanes do end up going down. I'm wondering to see how this Earthshaker bottom. I think this is probably the one that I'm looking at the most in the laning phase to struggle. How he's going to end up doing. What Katomi and him are going to be able to do with creep manipulation and stuff like that. Because seeing him starting with Fissure, you already know he doesn't really want to play straight up in the lane versus this Templar Assassin.
No, absolutely not. Doesn't want to be in a situation where he's trading, as Kiritish is going to be more than happy to set up, especially with a few good hits from the meld setups.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see also like the way that VP kind of styled this to deal with this Morphling. I think it was Lacoste who had mentioned it. Something that Morphling doesn't like to play against is this anti kind of healing, these mana burns and stuff like that, which is going to come out, right? Pango's going to get the Diffu. They're going to have the Doom always, which is going to dress versus the Morphling and versus the Chen in some way. So some interesting adaptations coming out here that not a lot of teams have been doing.
And overall, what sort of your impressions been from both of these teams with their performances so far in this run at the road to the International?
I mean, unexpected, I think, would be the word for me. I think Entity has definitely shown a lot of promise throughout the year, but VP, I don't think anybody really came in being like, VP is going to be making it like top 8 and stuff like that. Just kind of coming out of nowhere here. They look good. They honestly do.
Absolutely, and certainly impressing. And we'll see if they can continue to impress in this series with their own bit of play. Yeah. Said carry TA, not something that a lot of teams are playing right now in this patch. So very much their own style.
But you can, yeah, the pick though overall can definitely see why it can look so good. The lane just looks absolutely incredible, and it's going to give them that extra bit of Roche, right? They have the Pango minus armor, they're going to have the TA, they have extra forms of objective taking with that Pugna who can take towers in the early game. So, yeah, looking for early tempo on the side of VP. And I'm also happy to see more Chen, right? Like we saw one Chen yesterday, it dominated,
it,
right?
Yeah.
The game was just completely over pretty much 10 minutes in or something.
I mean, that was
like
the 20-minute victory, right? There was Chen involved in.
Yeah. I don't think that'll be the case this time around by any means for Entity. I think they have a much later kind of style that they're going for, but happy to see the hero either way.
They're going to try and get aggressive onto Gabby. It'll be fine. Just not too easy really for Entity to trade with the two of them. If FNG gets in with the setup, it's going to easily allow Kiritish to get some big, hard, heavy hits in off the back of a Meld.
Yeah, this is going to be, it's going to be slow recovery for Gabby for sure, but they're at least pulling the lane back constantly with these fissures and stuff like that, so at least he's getting something down here with this double melee versus a strong lane that VP's gone for.
Yeah, FNG holding back the two of them quite nicely.
He knows his power.
Given all the space in the world for Kiritish to free farm in this same safe lane.
And Watson, on the other hand, not having the freest time by any means. He's playing versus a pretty aggressive lane. This Pugna, this Doom, we've seen how much damage they're able to do. I mean, BetBoom was kind of the team that brought this one the most this year. They were the ones who were just running this Doom Pugna constantly. So VP taking a page out of their book. And yeah, it's definitely slowing down Watson here, especially because he has a Chen. You know, this hero does take a little bit of time to ramp up inside that laning phase to be able to protect these core heroes. And especially it's depending on what creep you get to, right? Stormstormer, though, in the mid lane, having an excellent time so far here versus Squad X. We saw him struggle a little bit in the early game last time around up on that Invoker, but this time, in this matchup, he's doing great.
Absolutely in his element. Pretty much his best hero over the years.
Yep, and that's what you want to do when you're at TI, right? Get these players as comfortable as possible, have that late game scaling. And it's a hero that it's going to be a great enabler for this Morphling too, right? They have a lot of buff up, tag team, alacrity, etc. too, so.
For sure. And as we heard, I think, earlier in the day from Stormstormer, you know, he wanted to just turn up and pull off cool plays.
Exactly.
There's not really a cooler hero to pull off cool plays on than Invoker.
Yep, and he's got a lot of different things that he can dispel, right? In a way, he can stop these life drains and stuff. He can remove the Spirit Breaker bulldoze, the shield crash and stuff. So Tornado overall is going to be very effective throughout this game.
1-1 still at the moment. Both teams not quite finding the action across the board, but some slight bit of an edge for the CS overall for Entity.
Which is a big deal, honestly. I'm astonished how well Gabby's been able to just get free last hits down. He's at 20 CS already on this Earthshaker. And we're already seeing a movement coming out also. Katomi's looking to get active. He sees this Shaker's getting a lane, so he's looking to actually perhaps get a kill up top to set up Watson for success.
Could be difficult, the wave as close as it is to Virtus.pro's tower.
And now we're seeing FNG, since he sees that there's no one down bottom, and TI's not really under pressure at all too. He's making a little bit of moves around himself.
I mean, yeah, anytime sort of it's left in that Kiritish versus Gabby situation, yeah, Kiritish, he wants to be on his own, right?
Oh,
he wants to be soaking up the solo XP. He doesn't need any help.
No, absolutely. And then if he's able to get like the early level 6, then when he can just push Gabby up by himself too. So a cool decision here coming up from VP to match that. And yeah, Katomi's movement not connecting just yet, but he's still lingering up top, waiting to see an opportunity. You can see his skill build too. He's 0-0-1 right now, level 3 on the Tusk. He's just trying to find an opportunity, but not quite able to just yet.
He's actually going to go back down towards the bottom with Fishman as well.
The old school combo, the snowball of the creeps, perhaps could be coming into play.
Couldn't find anything top, but still on this side of the map. It's not necessarily going to be any easier. Virtus.pro holding the creep wave right by the tier 1.
This is a tough gank to get successful. They'll have to time it pretty perfectly with this refraction, so see if they can get the angle. Not look easy whatsoever.
Diving this tower does not feel good.
No, and they also now know Pango is missing from mid lane, so there's a chance also that if he does make a rotation down, even not level 6, could be a bit scary. I mean, Fishman's still waiting. They're looking for a movement.
And Kiritish got the melt
down.
set up. He's just going to have the backup of FNG charging across over towards Gabby. Gabby turns with the Fisher. Got the Ghost as well in, hitting in onto Kiritish, slowing him down.
Sunstrike.
They're bringing him low. See if they can quite finish him off. Another melt.
They can.
And the sentry's prepared. Gabby slaps him down. They can maybe turn for FNG as well. As Gabby
Ghost.
fan chase him down. There's no escape for FNG. Double kill for Gabby as Fishman's patience pays off.
What a play. I mean, the Ghost, look at that slow that comes in. He was ready with the sentry. Perfectly done.
So sort of similar stuff, right, that we saw in the celery game on the channel, right?
Yes.
The Ghost early game, early laning stage, it's pretty brutal.
And that's a big deal because they did draft themselves in a way for lanes on the side of VP, and right now the lanes definitely looking in favor of the side of Entity with these small little moves. Gabby now set up for success to get 6 perhaps before that TA even.
Yeah, I mean, those 2 kills are huge. It's going to put him well on the way towards the Blink, halfway already on the goal for the Blink Dagger. Those 2 kills, and yeah, top of the board on net worth.
Yeah, and I love that we see, I mean, it's, of course, as you said, most comfortable here on the Invoker. He's got his 3 points Wex, gets that one little value point for the Exort. All these things do matter. That little extra damage onto that TA.
Now, Virtus Pro looks like they're going to shift their attention up towards the top. Maybe see if they themselves can set up for something. FNG and Seish ready to back up notice. They're going to try and lead in over towards the Tusk. If they've got any further control. Kato, he might even actually be able to turn. He turns
Oh,
the shot,
bash!
but he gets caught by a bash. So Virtus Pro able to make something happen out of their own movement. As it is, though, just a support kill.
No snowball for you. Tried to hold it as long as he could, but that bash does get him. 2 to 3.
I mean, that was the top lane. When you look at the other sort of areas of the map, is there anywhere else the Virtus Pro can make his place? Stormstormer.
Mid for sure. They
He's
have level
stepping
6
up
on
for
Pango.
fire. TP backup is going to be coming in, but it's a lot of stun, a lot of bash, a lot of control. And Stormstormer, he cannot walk away from that one. Getting punished there, stepping up a little too far, getting a bit too cocky.
Yeah, definitely too far, especially because Spiritbreaker just went missing from top, right? Yeah, versus Squad X. It's now level 6. Should be able to set himself up also for a rune. He'll spawn top, though. But a charge coming in, Katomi. Anytime he snowball, he will.
This time around, he'll be able to play his way over towards the mid, but Squadix is there waiting for him. As they dive forward, swashbuckle in, Katomi tries to push them back with his shards. And they'll still take him down. Seish there with the double damage right click, finishes off the job. Another kill to be found by Virtus Pro around the mid.
Nicely done. Looking to play around that mid hero instead of playing around their Doom and TA right now. It looks to be a bit of a better answer. Arcane Boots finished up. Very nice versus that Quaswex Invoker. Gabby's timing, though, for his blink is the one thing I'm looking at.
It's going to be strong.
It's insane how fast it is with the lane that he was put up against, right? He's in a double melee lane versus a Spiritbreaker TA, and he is going to have it. He's going to be probably one of the most farmed heroes in the game, so this could cause some big repercussions in this. I mean, it's going to be 10 minutes and he hasn't finished, so don't think they'll expect that coming out from the side of VP.
I mean, once that's there, where do you think Gabby and Entity as a whole are going to be looking for that first big hit? Are you trying to set up and back up to get the jump on Kiritish bottom, or would you look somewhere else for the easier kill?
That's a good question. Could maybe be mid, honestly. If they want to go for the more priority tower, then he can just get a catch, because it's not going to be expected, the fact that he's going to be able to get it, but we'll have to see where they want to make that move. Right now, they're actually dragging Stormstormer toward bottom, so maybe it is going to be for that TA.
All right, yeah, Stormstormer and Katomi on the way down towards the bottom.
It's a tough one to get, though. Like, the positioning that he's going to be very deep, far away for the Earthshaker to catch up.
I mean, they're going to have a pretty good read of what camp he's on with how far away from the, how long he's been away from that bottom wave, bottom lane.
Tough for just the 2 of them to go for him. If they have the 3rd, and then perhaps Fishman, then they'd have the way to be able to break that refraction quickly and actually go for it, but not going to be the case. They'll just settle for the tower pressure.
That should be a tower that Virtus Pro will let fall.
Yep.
Can't imagine they'll put too many resources in trying to hold this.
And I imagine Gabby, I imagine this, I think he's going to hide himself.
He's not
imagine he's not going to show it, right?
No, he's
yeah, he's going to.
The
trap actually saw the
That's
tree,
true, and they set the trap over the crit, so they were looking.
They were looking, so.
They probably know that that Blink Dagger's there waiting for Gabby,
Yep.
so unlikely to catch Virtus Pro by surprise, despite the fast timing.
10 minutes, honestly. That is, with Arcane Boots and Abrasive, that is absurdly fast. Level 8, too. It's not like he's low level. It's not like he's just level 6. He's very high level as well. See what connection he's going to be able to find with it. Because so far, though, even though those lanes for Entity looking good, the gold right now for the side of VP, it did trickle to that 2K for a quick second there. Getting some good efficiency.
They don't quite have a smoke on them. I think Katomi's getting one shipped out towards the bottom lane, so
Okay.
we'll have to wait if they want to make a smoke play around this Gabby Blink Dagger. Kiritish, you know, he's feeling confident when he's able to sort of sit mid and farm this way. Doesn't feel that there's anything that they can throw at him right now that's going to threaten him as a TA.
I mean, they're just farming the map completely right now. Pugna's stacking, or getting some ancient stacks at the ready. FNG also was kind of just sitting, waiting for an opportunity, maybe breaking smokes. They're just playing the farm game. Midas has started to get queued up, of course, noticed. We'll be able to build up that one. Squadix.
He's actually going to find Gabby and start to tease around with him down bottom. See if Gabby's able to make his way out of this one. Could be a bit tricky. Squadix, he's got a rev up here with the Rolling Thunder, but yeah, with the blink, Gabby should be fine. He has got further back up, and indeed Squadix doesn't want to keep chasing.
Might get turned on here. Smoke from Katomi that you mentioned from before. Gabby looking to make a hit. They always have the Sunstrike as well, too, so a bit of burst. These two supports.
Gabby!
It's a good target.
An easy jump straight away onto the two of them with the slam.
Very
and it will
nice.
take down Sayesh. FNG's going to try and escape this, but the shards from Katomi will trap him in. I mean, they kind of walked into that one, Fog. They knew that there was a shaker with a blink around. I guess they didn't quite expect him to be waiting up by the twin gate, but he was. That was one of the easiest slams Gabby would have done.
It is the two supports, though, so that's probably the one thing that they're taking from it. They're probably like, okay, Echo Slam's on cooldown. You cores, you guys are safe, but catching the two supports, well worth it for Entity, well worth it for Gabby.
Yeah, easy jump for him. Looks like he's going the blink straight into the Lincoln sphere.
Okay, I mean, they're looking for the Doom solutions very early on, I guess. Gotta be that very farmy mid-game that we've been getting very used to at this tournament. Even this Chen is gonna be hitting some creeps with Solar Crest for some time. All the Midases are getting queued up. How many total are we gonna have in this one? Probably a lot. Probably at least like 2 or 3, I guess.
I mean, for VP in these sort of positions where, as you say, they've obviously got the Doom, the TA that wants to be hitting creeps. When you look at their supports with the Pango and what they're up against, is it easy for those three heroes to make aggressive moves, trying to get in onto Entity's half of the map?
Yeah, I would say so. Just because they have like this, they have the Pango, they have a lot of early aggressive heroes that can get involved too. And TA is an early mid-game hero, so I think the Midas is fine.
Now they'll go and look to try and take down Fishman. Offensive Snowball comes into play, and they do have TP backup coming in. Squadix tries to get the connection onto Fishman, does find it. They'll knock back Katomi with the ult, but Katomi's able to pop the stick and walk this one off. FNG's gone into the tower. FNG goes down. A failed attempt there from VP around the mid that gets immediately punished by Entity with the TPs.
5 heroes rotating from Entity. I mean, they're looking to make these plays happen. They've got Gabby with this Blink Dagger, so I think he's going to look to be incredibly active on this Earthshaker, get that space opened up for the Morphling to have that success. I feel like for VP, they're probably still going to look to play fast, even though they are going for like this Doom Midas and stuff like that. Kirtich is having an amazing game.
And he's actually going to maybe get involved. The smoke is popped. No, okay. He's going to take it off and start hitting the Ancients. He's not interested in making these sort of moves. But notice he is. You know, they want to get some usage done with that ultimate on the Doom.
I'm wondering if Kirtich does opt to go for the early shard that we usually see these TAs. Since he's playing versus the Morphling and stuff, it does feel like it has some value. Right now he has the Blink.
Stormer. He's not. Ooh, that was a very quick Ghost Walk response there from Stormer. He walks it off. Meanwhile, other side of the map, Gabby, he's able to find Sayesh. In the return, though, he will fall. Kiritish able to turn with the help of Squadix to take him down. Stormer keeps his distance, gets the ice wall down. So will manage to walk away. 1 for 1.
Kirtich will take that all day. It's an Echo Slam to kill this Pug, and he comes in and gets a big cleanup kill. So
I mean, that was insane reactions as well, because he didn't have vision on the high ground up top either, did he, Storm?
I don't believe so. It's just like absolutely instant.
Very, very quick reactions. And without that, he would have been dead for sure if they caught him with the Doom.
Always moments for VP. If they do find any early kills right now with this Deso finished up, they can easily go for these Roches early on. FNG seems pretty dead.
Free kill for Watson.
Bit of a suicide right there. Gets punished.
Unnoticed. Back in the same position. And once more, VP, they really want to keep looking for the action.
Yes.
I think sort of the third smoke in the last 2-3 minutes, or even less than that. They're just go, go, go. Hasn't been complete success really with the last few plays. See if they're any luckier this time around. Squadix and Sayesh looking to get deep into Entity's half of the map.
They have great ways.
Fishman's not really a kill that they want to settle for, though.
No, but I mean, a kill's a kill at this point, right? If they can get a good ward down, he'll die so fast too to the Pangolier. So as soon as Fishman does show himself for a quick second.
Yeah, they'll go for him. TP's are going to be coming in, but there's going to be no saving the Chen.
Takes a little longer than I expected to actually bring him down. if it doesn't.
Stormer comes in with the TP, but doesn't want to reveal his hand, knows that there's no saving
Mid lane.
Fishman in that sort of situation.
Tommy.
He's going to head out with the TP. It's a lot of damage for Kiritish, but not quite enough.
Almost. And it's TI being incredibly active. The movements around.
And incredibly
The blink
far.
is done. Yep.
Kiritish continuing to stay well ahead of anyone else in this game right now, especially on the CS difference. He's on 190, second closest on the side of Entity, 126 on Watson. Kiritish farming up an absolute monster.
I really like how Squadic's playing. Like, we're seeing how fast he's making moves. He's looking to make plays constantly. And Jesus, yeah. I guess he saw notice for that quick second. He already had it pre-invoked, I guess. But yeah, I love the way that this Pango, he's not playing it, you know, greedy by any means.
He is
farming, but he's running around constantly to make space.
Yeah, and you know, with the pace of the farm that both, you know, the Doom and the TA are able to pick up at this stage of the game, I noticed in Kiritish, it's kind of okay to be this more sacrificial core, right, as the Pango that's just looking for action.
Yeah.
You don't need to be sitting back hitting creeps. The TA and the Doom, they've got that covered.
Entity it looks like they were kind of expecting this to be the moment where VP maybe was looking for that Roshan. They sent a scan top. Because that Deso, the Deso plus the Pango, it's always going to be a constant threat. If they're off the map, that Rosh could die very, very quick. So keeping tabs of it.
Hoping that someone turns up in this mid lane.
Not FNG, but they might be able to just settle with him without an echo.
Yeah, shouldn't need to use the slam for this one. They get the setup into the Sunstrike. It's a clean kill. FNG goes down. Squad
Omi.
He's going to be able to get the jump in over towards Kiyotomi. A couple of bashes back there with the Rolling Thunder. Comes in with the third one. And have to finish with the Swashbuckle. Squadix able to find the trade.
Very nice play there, too. The swashbuckle at the end to distance himself. Perhaps Gabby might be able to get a catch if he doesn't do that. Top now. Kiritish is showing himself. They're surrounding him.
Fishman trying with the setup. TP's going to be coming in here on the side of VP to try and back Kiritish up in this attempt that Entity are making on towards him. They go forward, wait for the catch. They got him. The Fisher. Gabby with the block off puts a stop to Kiritish's escape.
Great quick move. Had vision of him there for a quick second. They punish him. Gabby's still having Echo. They're actually the ones poised around this Roshan right now. They have the Solar Crest in the Chen, so maybe they can look for it themselves.
And I think, you know, this is quite the hit against VP, right? They've got this TA lineup and a TA Kiritish that's as farmed as he is. He would have loved to have the chance to walk in a Rosh at some sort of sneaky point of the game. He's not going to get it here on this first Rosh. Entity, they step into the pit.
Super
and VP,
smart.
they're not in any sort of shape or form to head over here with their TA dead.
The dream situation, honestly. Catching the TA and you're up top as well, too. You're right next to the Rosh. Absolutely ideal there for Entity. Watson in a comfortable spot now with his Aegis. Yeah, that was huge. And Gabby still has Echo, too. So, in fact, the Pango ult was used mid. They knew that this Rosh was going to be completely free. Big hit from Entity. Even though that gold, of course, with the greedy lineup of VP with that Doom, is still slightly favoring them. Entity getting a big space on the map for this Morphin, because they're looking for these later stages of the game with this Morph.
Yeah, I imagine so, right? Even though they have this Aegis, this is probably going to be a
bit more of a
farm Aegis.
Yeah, I mean, Gabby will probably make some moves happen and stuff like that with the Invoker Sunstrikes, but yeah, they don't have to. They're probably feeling a little bit more relaxed about being able to go for some type of scaling with this Morph versus TA matchup.
Yeah, for sure. I think, if anything, the most important thing for Entity is just going to be that the team outside of the Morph has those TPs ready to react to any sort of move that VP make if they do somehow manage to get themselves all the way over to Entity's deepest parts of the map and find Watson on his Morphing.
And I mean, the Aegis just gives him so much blanket of, even if he does get caught somehow or anything like that from a Doom or something, which is very unlikely. Now he's got the extra to be able to just come back up. Killing him twice is very unlikely at this point. FNG top shows himself, Gabby. Looking for another setup.
See how much he wants to drop for this.
Doesn't want to
drop the slam. And Watson turn into the Spirit Breaker to charge forward to see if he can finish this off himself.
Wants to keep going, Gabby. He's got another fissure.
FNG, he's going to be heading out with the TP across the tree line, so he'll make it out of there.
Quick
down
move,
bottom.
though. Gabby's already TPing down bottom.
I mean, they're looking to set up onto the Doom. Notice getting jumped here by Katomi and Storm. Storm, he'll drop down the Doom onto Katomi. Should be able to chase him down with the Scorched Earth.
They got a charge on Stormstormer 2. He'll be okay. I was checking his TP timing. I was like, wait, is this a long TP? No, he's safe. He'll be able to get himself away.
They're trying to quickly move, maybe from what?
Whoa.
He's going to be able to get
Gabby.
Gabby's
wait, whoa.
charge back, jump forward here for Kiritish. The damage is done. Squadix finishes off the kill as they take out Gabby.
Hey, that was a bit of a fortunate one. He just continued the charge, and he's like, hello.
Yeah, very easily able to just turn his attention over towards Gabby and take him down incredibly quickly.
2 big kills, up to 4K, the farm.
Kiritish halfway on the goal towards his BKB. He's picking up the hammer.
And he bought the shard. He did go for it, so I love to see it. Whenever you're playing versus Morph, I mean, pretty much versus anything, it's very, very good, but versus these heroes that rely on, you know, some type of save like a Morph,
Gets a nice
super good.
little bit of an ancient sack there as well.
Ooh, gets them all.
Pretty much holding on to the top of that net worth for the entirety of this game so far, Kiritish. Still a huge issue for Entity that they will have to inevitably address. But this TA, as was picked in the draft towards the end, it's a good TA game.
It sure is.
He's definitely got the setup to pop off. He's going to start setting up here for that Tormentor.
Oh, he's the power of the TA as well too, right? They don't really have the same option to do that on the side of Entity. They have to do it as a team more than anything. As FNG, he'll be the one who gets it. Not really the most. Huge.
Well,
Yeah.
the closest at the moment is what, level 14 outside of that. Pretty much, perfect moves from Kiritish, just getting caught twice. Yep. But honestly, those two deaths, they've not slowed him down at all.